Welcome to Lesson 1 of Social Media Loser to Power User. I'm Holly Hoffman. I own a company called Neovia Solutions. We're a boutique interactive marketing agency, and I'm going to be leading this course. I'm going to use our first lesson to dispel some social media myths that are pretty prevalent out there in the real world. Now, there are about as many myths as there are social media sites, but we're going to focus on just the top 4 myths. Myth 1. Only young people use social media. Now, this simply isn't true. Let's look at some statistical information that's going to show us the breakdown of different age groups across social networking sites. Here we have information about the average age distribution across social networking sites. So if you notice, the highest ranking group is actually 35 to 44-year-olds. This is not necessarily the youngest group. Interestingly enough, you have just about the same amount of participation coming from 45 to 54-year-olds as you do in the 25 to 34-year-old range. The same goes for 55 to 64-year-olds and 18 to 24-year-olds. So when you look at this, you have just about the same likelihood that a 55 to 64-year-old is using a social networking site as you do an 18 to 24-year-old using a social networking site, which has to dispel at least one myth. Now, let's look at the age distribution across the most popular social networking sites. We're going to look at the youngest age group, the ones who are supposed to be participating the most according to this myth. And then we'll look at the most popular social networking sites, those that you're probably more familiar with. So Facebook, for example, we're looking at actually less than 40% of that youngest group participating. With Twitter, it's just about the same, even a little less. And LinkedIn, you have even less of that youngest age group participating. Now, the estimated average age on social networking sites will also surprise you. When we look at Facebook, for example, the average age that is participating is actually 38. For Twitter, it goes up slightly to 39, and with LinkedIn, a popular professional networking site, it jumps up to 44 years old. Myth number 2. Social media is Twitter and Facebook. In actuality, there are all different kinds of social media. This particular graphic shows us the breakdown of the 6 major user types in social media. There are creators, individuals who create original social media content, such as blogs. There are critics, users who leave comments or like performing ratings and reviews. There are collectors, individuals who grab RSS feeds or use social tagging or article voting sites such as Dig or StumbleUpon. Then there are joiners. Those are the people who like joining social networking sites like Facebook. Spectators are individuals who consume social media content but do not necessarily leave any visible trace of their having been there. Inactives are a very small portion of the population, and they are just like they sound, those individuals who do not participate in social media at all. Here are some of the most popular blogging platforms. And here are some places that you can find podcasts. Photo sharing sites are becoming increasingly popular, not just with photographers, but with amateurs as well. Comments are an area that you may not necessarily have realized are actually social media. Anytime the user inputs into the system to become part of the system, that's social media. And so you may not have realized that when you're using something like Netflix and you rate a particular DVD 4 out of 5 stars, you're actually participating in social media because your rating goes into an aggregate rating of all other members who've rated that movie to create one rating. That's social media. You also may not have realized that when you're using shopping sites like Target.com or BestBuy.com that you're also participating in social media. Reviews have become a standard part of shopping sites. It lets users understand from other users what they thought about a particular product. Wikipedia is another example of social media. Wiki entries are actually built by other users, and so a lot of times Wikipedia will let you know that a particular article might need more citations for verification or more reliable sources. since it is coming from actual users and not necessarily a board of individuals who are checking on everything. Here are examples of social bookmarking and article voting sites. And then here, of course, are examples of popular social networking sites that you're probably familiar with: Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, and LinkedIn. Myth number 3, social media is a time waster. Now, social media is what you make of it. If you use it to waste time, it's only going to be a time waster. But if you use it effectively and efficiently, then it's going to be an effective and efficient tool for you. The trick is knowing where these tools exist. So for example, there's Hootsuite. You can use Hootsuite to post to multiple social media accounts all at once, thereby decreasing your time spent on social media. This is really helpful for businesses. Yelp is a review site. You can actually use this for more than just restaurants. You can learn from other users where the best professional services are and read actual reviews from actual customers. Twitter chats are another area that you can use to get ahead professionally. You can participate in industry-wide or peer-level chats regularly and strengthen and grow your network and knowledge base. Yammer is an interesting tool. It's an enterprise-level social network. That means that it's actually just a closed social network for only one business. You can use a site like alltop.com, which is basically an online magazine rack for blogs, to find blogs in your field or industry. You can stay on top of the latest information and be the smartest guy or gal in the room. Myth number 4, social media is only for personal use. We've already touched very briefly on how you can use social media for professional development, but let's talk a little bit about how businesses can use social media. The primary example is marketing. Here's Tom's Shoes, a shoe company that donates 1 pair of shoes to a child in need for every 1 pair of shoes that you purchase. Here, their Facebook presence integrates user comments, photos, and so on into its social media marketing. This shows how much fans love the product. Dave Ramsey, a financial guru and talk radio show host, not only answers his fans' questions on Twitter, but has instituted contests and giveaways to drive interaction and user-generated content on his site. This is called crowdsourcing. Crowdsourcing is using the crowd or online users to generate ideas or content. Let's look at more crowdsourcing. My Starbucks Idea allows Starbucks customers to submit ideas to the company, everything from store closures to drink ideas to iPhone application improvements. Starbucks either accepts the idea or it lets the users know why a particular idea isn't feasible. Threadless is a t-shirt company. Only shirts that get voted on are made. Their entire business is based on social media and crowdsourcing. Brands like Starbucks and Zappos, an online shoe store, are known for their excellent use of social media for customer service issues. IBM is a company that's known for its internal use of social media. For example, their employees have internal blogs, the content of which ranges from job functions to projects to parenthood. An internal wiki allows a widely geographically distributed company to share ideas, information, and project data across the whole world with each other. They also have internal social media sites. IBM knows that ideas can happen anywhere at any time. Thus, they have an online water cooler of sorts to facilitate conversations that couldn't happen face-to-face. So to review, today we learned that only young people use social media is a myth. We also learned that social media is only Twitter and Facebook is also a myth. Social media as time waster? Myth. And finally, social media only being for personal use is definitely a myth. I hope you learned a lot today, and I'll see you tomorrow.